Hi, I'm Larry McAtee, Ward 3 City Councilman. What a pleasure and privilege it is today to have three representatives from a new organization here in town that is really going to change, we hope, the dynamics of family life of our people in Oklahoma City. First off, we have the chairman of the group, Tricia Everest. Thank you for being with us, Trish.
Thank you, Councilman.
We have our police chief, Bill Citty, and the police department has been the head agency promoting this, hasn't it, Bill, over the time that we're...
Well, I think we got it started.
Got it started, and now it's on the way. And we have Kim Garrett, and Kim is the program director. And Kim, you've got some fancy initials after your name on your card. Tell our viewers what they are.
I am a licensed social worker, master social worker, and NACP, which is a Nationally Advanced Certified Practitioner.
And you're going to be running the day-to-day operations of this.
Yes, I am, and have been for the last year, and it's amazing.
This is the Oklahoma City, or maybe the Metro Oklahoma Family Justice Center that we're going to talk about. Trish, tell the viewers a little bit about what's the goal of this organization?
Well, that's a very big one because we've asked from the organization, from the board, throughout every level of our volunteers and staff in the police department to dream big, to really be able to recognize and remove barriers for people getting better and for changing the cycles of abuse, which are, as I have mentioned, it's tragic in Oklahoma how many cases of domestic violence and sexual assault that we have, and that with the systems in place now, an individual that seeks help would have to go to probably 5 different locations, bringing their children with them into traumatizing areas as emergency rooms, courthouses, police department, no offense, the nice one, into meeting with social services if they get them. And we are, goal number 1, collectively bringing all those organizations to one place so that the children can be in a therapeutic, safe environment. We minimize times of travel, missing work, economic support. So then when you look at economic help and goals, that's huge. When we look at the children will grow up in a safer environment and we'll have, I'll let Kim talk more about the children's part, because the therapeutic side.
We're attacking, this organization is attacking the root problem of domestic violence. Would that be safe to say?
It is very safe to say.
Kim, what would you say to someone like myself that says, we don't have a big problem of domestic violence in Oklahoma City and the surrounding area?
I actually hear that a lot, and it is quite a large myth, actually, in our community. We work closely with the police department, and we know from the data that last year there was over 35,600 calls to 911 that were domestic related.
Now, wait a minute now. 35,000 calls just related to domestic violence?
Just related to domestic violence. It's shocking.
It is that.
And when you realize that the majority of victims do not call, the numbers are a lot larger in our community. So we've got a significant problem. The state has always ranked in the top 10 states as women murdered by men, and we just went up from number 6 to number 4, and Oklahoma City contributes greatly to that terrible data.
So in football, I'm a University of Oklahoma fan. We're all excited because we moved up 4 spots this past week from 16 to 12, I believe. But we, in the domestic violence area, are what ranking nationally?
We're 4th in the nation for women murdered by men.
And that's not a goal we want to see perpetuated, is it?
Absolutely not.
Police, how did you get involved in all this, Bill?
Well, I mean, we've been involved in investigating domestic violence forever. I mean, it's a crime, obviously, and it comes in a variety of forms. And all those 35,000 calls that we get, we have to respond to. And I think one thing to point out is it may be 35,000 calls, but when you're talking about families that are being affected by this, it's not 35,000 people. You can multiply that by 2, 3, 4 people that are actually impacted by domestic violence in this city alone.
And you brought to the table, I guess, an outside consultant that has helped us get to this far in our program here.
That's correct. I mean, the program that we've adopted with the Family Justice Center really is, there's several Family Justice Centers throughout the country in a lot of major cities. Probably the closest one that we've looked at on numerous occasions. I think everybody's gone except me, but it's a Family Justice Center in Fort Worth, which is pretty comprehensive. But it's kind of the same format. But as Trish said, you know, when you ask about the goal is to really do a better job of investigating, prosecuting, and being able to break the cycle of people that are involved in domestic violence. But with this group of people that I'm involved with, especially these two ladies here, don't count on anything that your goal to be what you started, because it's growing immensely, and a lot of it has to do with the people that are involved in that and the people that have bought into it and want to support it.
Now, besides the program, right now you've got a number of different agencies who are involved in domestic violence, involved in the Family Justice Center, and you also have a location that's going to open up in what, about 6 to 8 weeks. How about speaking to those points, Trish?
Okay. So we have been really mindful to build a collaborative and engage a lot of different service providers, government officials, nonprofits, and we, last December, we brought 120 individuals from 47 different agencies to the table. We all are interfacing with these families, whether it be the school district, health department, batterers intervention programs, things like that. And so we clearly know that a coordinated response can be very beneficial. So we've continued with that momentum and continue to bring everybody together, and almost all of them are still involved in our work groups and helping us design policy, renovate the space, fundraise, strategic planning, developing operations, and things like that. And so it's really exciting, the collaborative that we're building and the momentum and the excitement, because we all acknowledge that together we can do so much more.
Okay, now I made a real faux pas there. I don't know if any of you picked it up. I called Kim Trish.
I did.
So we're going to get back on the right track.
I didn't want to correct
And now
you.
we're going to call Trish Trish. Okay. We have a vast area here in Oklahoma City, 620 square miles. How are people who need the services that are going to be provided at the center, how are they going to get to the center?
Well, Councilman, it had never occurred to the family justice centers and to the movement the need for transportation as it has occurred to Oklahoma City, and that due to our vast area, and that transportation isn't as easily accessible or flowing, and one, just from our space. So we are committed to providing a safe transportation to and from the Family Justice Center, so that if someone were to call from dispatch, and it's not necessarily a 911 call, but they're calling and they need assistance, we'll be able to bring them to the center, show them the different ways to be able to get there, alleviate the stress of parking, of trying to find it. We'll be able to bring the children, and then we can return them to whether it be a shelter or a safe place or a family member, wherever that they need to go. And then we'll be committed for ongoing, if there's a barrier of transportation, we are committed to taking that off. But as far as I'm concerned, any victim, especially at their first visit, should be able to not have to worry about where we are and how we get there. So,
Because the where we are initially is going to be where, Kim?
The location is 1140 North Hudson.
And the relative startup date for that has been projected to be
In mid-December.
mid-December. Now, if somebody is out there and they're a victim of family violence like this, domestic violence, what are some of the numbers they need to know in order to get help?
Well, if there's a medical or safety emergency, I would certainly recommend calling 911. But if they're trying to seek shelter, advocacy, or support services, I would recommend calling our state Safe Line, which is 1-800-522-SAFE.
Give that number again for our folks.
1-800-522-SAFE.
Because we want anybody who's a victim of this to get in touch with this so that they can, you mentioned earlier that a large percentage of the people never tell anybody that they're victims.
Correct. When they look at homicide data, they found that 98% of people who die by domestic homicide have not accessed resources, which is another reason why we feel really strongly about building a better collaborative and having collective impact, so services are more easily accessible for families when they're in crisis.
Now, somewhere I heard something called Camp Hope. What is that all about? Trish, you want to take that, or Kim?
I actually think Chief should.
Chief?
I think the chief.
Let's
is
go with
perfect.
the chief.
Well, Camp Hope is a component, has been born out of the Family Justice Center, and it started, I believe, in San Diego. and the first Camp Hope was there, and the consultants we had come in had talked about Camp Hope and the development of that, and everybody felt like that really, as you get into this project, the children play such a huge role, more so than I think anybody ever realizes. I mean, the program is about family. We talk so much about the family unit and about how strong families we need to have strong families to help us, reduce crime, help us get kids through through the educational system, those types of things. And that's what this program is about. It's about families. So the children became a very strong component, really strong component of this. And Camp Hope is all about the kids who have been through domestic violence situations, or are currently, most of them still in it, and are dealing with a lot of trauma in their lives as a result of that. And I just went down for one visit at night, the evening, and to watch these kids, what the counselors had experienced and shared with the kids, and more importantly, what the kids ultimately by the end of the week share with each other and the counselors. It's called Camp Hope because it gives kids hope, and I can tell you, I went down there, it gave me a lot of hope. They were very inspiring, and you saw over just that week, you saw quite a transition, and a lot of kids that wouldn't even look up or talk to you or have any self-confidence. It's amazing. And the idea too is when we do the camp, there's follow-up. We'll have mentors. We have a support system to help them get through whatever problems they're having with their families. So, the kids, all they need is some support, and this program, that's what it's about. It's not just about somebody that's been victimized, an adult that you normally think of in domestic violence being victimized. The whole family is, and the kids are a part of that.
Now, this Camp Hope, we have had a session of Camp Hope here in Oklahoma City that you observed?
Right. We had the Camp Hope in the Turner Falls area, and that was the first one. I think they're looking at another site next year near Tulsa. So but they had it. It's camp. It's a camp, and so you have to have a facility. They had cabins, and these are a lot of young kids that had never been out of Oklahoma City, maybe never been out of their neighborhood, and definitely never been at a camp. So the experience was it was just fun to watch. It was just quite an experience for all of us.
Go ahead, Tricia.
We had a reunion this weekend, so I will add on. Oklahoma City, even though this movement has been around, is the first to actually really work at touching the kids throughout the year. And we had a reunion on this Saturday, so I was able to go and meet some of the children. Kim and her staff had planned a trunk or treat, and were dressed up and invited the children to come with their families or foster families and their siblings. And I was able to see some of the parents come up and say how different their son was, that he was softer, that he had been so hard, and that I would see the children come up and say, I just can't wait for camp again, and the siblings ask if they can go, and they would use words like, I have hope today, or I understand my son talks to me now. And watching just that transformation, I mean, who knows what we can build as we're building it together.
Boy, those are a couple of key words there: transformation, hope, breaking the cycle of domestic violence, ultimately putting Bill and the police out of business because we don't have any more crime.
It will help.
That may be a little bit too much.
No, I'm telling you, people don't realize that most of the people we deal with, most of the people that commit crimes, a great percentage of them come out of a domestic violence situation. So, I mean, I absolutely to say it will help reduce crime. That's just not that far-fetched.
Hey, thank you all for coming down. One couple of last comments. Somebody out there feels motivated to get involved in this. How can they get involved in the Family Justice Center?
Well, we certainly welcome everybody to call us, and you can reach us at 463-HEAL.
Do we have a website?
Yes, we do have a website. We also have a website, which is okcfamilyjusticecenter.com.
So that would be for somebody that had a passion for breaking this cycle of domestic violence, wanted to get involved and be a helper. That's how they could get involved.
Absolutely. If you want to volunteer, learn more, donate, we welcome.
Now, there was a key word there. You said donate.
Donate.
You do take cash donations.
Yes, we do.
And how would they go about finding out about that?
It's actually on our website, the okcfamilyjusticecenter.com, and there's a PayPal link there.
And so what we've got here is we've got police, we've got agencies, we've got volunteer citizens like Trish represents, all coming together for the purpose of attacking a problem and making our town a better place to live, and hopefully for generations to come breaking that cycle. May God bless each one of you as you continue in this effort. Thank you for what you're doing. Folks out there, catch the vision, get involved. Let's move Oklahoma City forward. Let's break this cycle of domestic violence. Thank you for watching.